Indeed, it is my privilege and my pleasure to be the executioner, and you may applaud. I do thank you for that. For now, I am to take upon a journey all the way back to the medieval times, to medieval Scotland, where the punishment for crime was most severe. For in my time, justice not only had to be done, it had to be seen to be done. But before we begin our journey, there are various things I must impart. First, what I'm about to say is true and is accurate and is not for the faint-hearted. Should you be of a nervous disposition, then perhaps you should retire. And secondly, and more particularly, you will observe by now that yes, I am English. And in this great capital of the Scots. If there is one thing more unpopular than the executioner, it is an English executioner. For this great castle of Edinburgh was seized by the English, retaken by the Scots, seized and retaken many times, and upon the last occasion, when all of my English fellows had been put to the sword, I alone remained. And I was afforded a choice. 'Tis a choice often given to men in Scotland whose life is in jeopardy. 'Tis the choice to kill or be killed. I accepted their kind invitation. So now it is I who is the very instrument of justice. For it is I who just punish those who break of the law. Venture to the toll booth, and there you'll see the heads of those who have broken the law. There, for all to observe, go further, to the Netherbow, to the city gate, to World's End, and there you will see the arms and the legs of those who have broken the law. For here in Scotland, we have many punishments for many crimes. But let me begin. Let me begin with a simple question to the gentlemen here present. Gentlemen, if you are a married man, be pleased to raise your hands, don't be shy. I've given you permission. You can raise your hands if you're married. Are you the only married man here, sir? Married man? No. Married man?
Pourquoi faire?
Parce que t'es marié.
Married man, you married man? No, married man. Married man, sir? Married man? Married man? Put your hands up if you're a married man. God, dear. You know, I can always tell of the married men, for they have that haggard and worn expression. Is it not true, gentlemen? That wives are naught but nags. They nag and nag and nag their poor husbands, but ladies, take heed. For here in Edinburgh there is a law. There's a law that has it that a woman may not nag her husband. It is a crime. And if you are a wife who's adjudged to nag, you will be sentenced to wear this, the branks, or the scold's bridle, for this device. For this device is encased about your head. There's a plate that rests between your teeth, which means you can't nag. And as you're led through the streets like a beast, all of the townspeople, they'll see that you're a nag, and they will laugh, and they will jeer. And ladies, you will be humiliated, and perhaps you'll not nag your poor husbands again. And gentlemen, these are available in the gift shop. But we have other punishments. Imagine that you are a baker who sells bread that is not good. Or you're an innkeeper who just sell ale or beer that has been watered. For these grave crimes, you will be punished. For you'll be sentenced to stand here, in the pillory, in the stoop, and you'll stand like this for many hours. And all of the townspeople, they can come down and they hurl rocks and rotten vegetables and dead cats and poo, and it's awful. But it gets worse. For whilst you're standing in the pillory, here, in this little bag, I have special nails. And here, a special hammer. And with a hammer, I drive the nail through the lobe of your ear, and you're nailed to the wood of the pillory. It really does hurt. It really makes your eyes water. But it gets worse. For when we set you free, we tear you away and you lose the end of your ear. That is to be earmarked. This is where the expression comes from. And it just shows to all the world that you have been punished for your crimes. But we have other punishments. Gentlemen, as you do venture abroad in this city of Edinburgh, you will have noticed that there are many inns and taverns. And if you are taken to drinking deeply of the ale and beer, and then given to fighting, have a care. For in Scotland, there's a law. There's a law that seeks to make the punishment fit the crime. For should you strike a blow or strike a punch, it is the law that here in Scotland, the very hand that did strike that blow will itself be struck off. You will lose the offending hand. And so, gentlemen, before you go a-fighting, you may do well to consider how many hands can you spare. But these are minor punishments for minor crimes. Let us talk of real crimes. Let us talk of that dreadful crime of stealing. If you should steal the property of another, take that which is lying about, or go to a market or a shop and take goods without paying, or even steal another fellow's beast, his horse, his cow, his pig, you may be assured, for this stealing you will die. You may be sentenced to be drowned in the Nor Loch to the north of the castle. This is a particularly unpleasant death, for I will force your head beneath the foul and stinking waters, for the loch is naught but a stinking sewer. But more usually, for your stealing, you will be sentenced to be hanged upon the gallows. Venture to the lawn markets, there you will see gallows. Venture to the grass market below, there you will see gallows. So, good gentlefolk, would you have me tell you how this hanging is done? Well, thank you, madam, I do thank you. I know it's a particularly unpleasant day, which is reasonably comfortable in here, and there are a few of you here present. I must admit, I I had hoped for slightly more enthusiasm. Would you have me tell you how it's done?
Yeah!
Well, I do thank you for that. But again, let me remind, all is true and accurate. 'Tis not for the faint-hearted. You have been warned.
Good actor.
The ladies like this. The condemned person is taken to their place of execution, to the gallows, where their hands are tied, the rope is placed about their neck, a bag is placed about their head, and they're made to climb the ladder. When you're at the right height, the ladder is turned, and they swing out into eternity. They dance the hempen jig, they dance the dance of death upon the rope. But this is no quick death. This is a slow process of strangulation, for it all depends upon the weight of your body, upon your neck. And so it follows that the bigger you are, the quicker you will go. The smaller you are, the longer you will last. For in my time, the age for hanging is 7. Boys and girls, men and women are hanged for all manner of crimes from the age of 7. 'Tis a slow, painful, and agonizing death. 10, 15, 20, perhaps even 30 minutes to die upon the rope, unless within the audience there are friends or relatives of the condemned who will come forth, cross my palm with a few pennies. I then allow them to pull down hard upon the legs, to quicken the process, and to send him on his way. So there it is. A common death for a common man, for the common crime of stealing. But tell me, of all the crimes that you may commit, who may tell me what is the most serious crime? Worse than murder? Who said the T word? Who said it? Speak up, madam. Speak up, madam. Treason! Treason! Bearing arms against the king. Fighting the king. Treason! Now, the law has it that the punishment for treason for a common man, I stress the word man, and yes, you are indeed common. The punishment for treason is that most colourful of entertainments, of being hanged, of being drawn, and of being quartered. Now, good gentlefolk, would you have me tell you how it is done?
Yeah!
Are you sure?
Yeah!
What is not for the faint-hearted? You have been warned. The condemned man is taken to his place of execution, to the gallows, where, as before, his hands are tied, the rope is placed about his neck, and he's made to climb the ladder. When he's at the right height, the ladder is turned, and he swings out into eternity. He dances the hempen jig upon the rope. But, I do not want him to die upon the gallows. So I look, I watch, I wait for that point where he's betwixt life and death. He's dying, but he's still very much alive. At this point, I too climb the ladder. With my knife, I cut the rope, and his body falls to the ground. He's still alive. He may try and struggle to his feet, and my assistants, they will wrestle him to the ground, and standing upon his arms and his They will hold him down, whilst I proceed to operate upon him. Remember, this man is alive. First, I draw forth a most sharp knife. And with the knife, I take a firm grasp of the privy members, and they are severed. They are cast into a fire, and they are burnt. This man is alive. Next, I draw forth my disemboweling knife. Now, truth to tell, any small knife would do the job. But you've come for a show. And with a disemboweling knife, I will open him. I slit him from bottom to top, and then I delve in with my hands. And I wrench forth his intestines, and his stomach, and his liver, and these are hacked off and burnt. This man still lives. Oh, he does. I then draw from his very living chest his beating heart and his lungs, and these two are hacked off and burnt. And at this point, if he is lucky, he's dead. But it is not over. For then I bring forth my dismembering axe, and with the dismembering axe I sever the head, and I hack the body to 4 quarters. And so, in accordance with the law, you've had the hanging by the neck, the drawing of the guts, and the quartering of the body, but it is not over. For then, all of the pieces, all of the bits, the head, the arms, the legs, they're placed in a great cauldron of salt water. They are boiled up, they're parboiled, to withdraw the blood from the meats, to preserve the flesh. So when his head is held aloft upon the toll booth, it is there all the longer for you to observe. And when his arms and his legs are nailed to the city gates, they too are there for you to observe. For the birds, they do not peck at it quite so much. So there it is. The punishment for treason for a common man. But what if this traitor is a nobleman, a lord, an earl, a duke, and they do commit the crime of treason? Well, for them, the punishment is simple, for it is that of having their head struck from their body with the axe. Now this is the heading axe. And indeed, it is most sharp medicine. The condemned person is taken to their place of execution, to the block, where I do beg their forgiveness for that which I'm about to do. They then cross my palm with a few coins, in the hope that I'll do my job properly, and I must admit, I always prefer the gold-coloured coins best. They then kneel at the block, and they enter into their supplications. They do say of their prayers, for they really hope to be in a better place quite soon. Then, placing their neck upon the block, and at the giving of a sign, the axe is brought down with full force. And, if they're lucky, if they are really lucky, their head is struck from their body with one blow. You chose to sit there. So then it is, the punishment for treason for a nobleman. But, before you go, let me tell you the tale of the Earl of Athol, a noble Scottish lord, who in the year of 1437 did contrive to kill King James I of Scots. For the noble lord, he did believe that he should be king. For this foul crime, 'twas ordained that the Earl of Athol would be executed slowly over 3 days. On the first day, we did tie ropes about his ankles. Then he was hoisted high into the air, and then was dropped with such force that all of his joints, all of his limbs, they were rendered and torn asunder. How he did squeal. On the second day, the noble lord was truly crowned, for a ring of red-hot metal was forced upon his head. It did burn and char his flesh. The stink of burning flesh was there for all to observe, for he did scream. On the third day, the noble lord was afforded some relief, for yet, whilst still alive, he was placed upon a table. He was gutted. His guts were drawn asunder, and his head was struck off. Behold, the head of a traitor! So there you have it, good gentlefolk.